Hello, I'm Chris Godsalve. These are my pages at stormpages.com, and this video is about graphics programming using OpenGL. Programming language I'm using is C++. You can see I've got a little article here on the web about programming in C++. There it is. Anyway, to get going, what you need on your machine is a compiler. And I'd recommend anyone the GNU compiler collection, world-class stuff, and you can download it for free. Well, I mentioned OpenGL graphics. This is the OpenGL site here at www.opengl.org. You can download OpenGL for free from here, and as you can see there are sample code and tutorials here. Documentation includes the OpenGL reference manual and programming guide, also known as the red and blue books. But to get going, you need one more port of call, and that's either GLUT, GL Utilities, or SDL. Now, while I strongly recommended GCC, and I strongly recommend OpenGL to anyone, do I strongly recommend SDL? Well, to tell you the truth, SDL is what I first used, so I can't really compare SDL and GLUT because I've never used it. But anyway, here it is at libsdl.org. You'll need the SDL library if you're going to run OpenGL. What's the reason for that? Well, OpenGL is not dependent on any machine or any machine architecture. It's completely independent and standalone. So you need an interface between OpenGL and your machine. And this is what SDL provides. It speaks, if you like, to the graphics card and the keyboards and the mouse and the sound card and everything. And that provides the interface between your machine and OpenGL. And you can download it from here. So now we're back to my site yet again. And I'm just going to click on this article here, Getting Started with OpenGL and SDL. And we're going to get an advert, which we can close. So here we are, getting started with OpenGL. I'm not going to say much here, I'm just going to go straight here to a triangle in OpenGL. And the reason why is because we've got two links here. One is to DigiBen's set of tutorials, which are at gametutorial.com. I'd highly recommend these tutorials. There's the first OpenGL program, for instance. There you are. Author is DigiBen. Download demo. I think you actually have to pay here. I think it's about $20 a go. However, I found them very, very useful. Mind you, they happened to be free when I came across them. There's another site here, Nihi, which has also got a lot of OpenGL tutorials, again from the games programming point of view. But this is also a very good site, gamedev.net. I think it's pronounced Nihi. And as you can see here, we've got OpenGL tutorials, setting up an OpenGL window, your first polygon, and within no time at all, you're talking about fairly advanced topics. Anyway, very, very good tutorial sites, the pair of them. And and of course you can just go to the local library and Google around and join various, C++ and graphic sites on the web. Well, before we go on to our demo, the demo is going to be about flying and moving through and viewing a landscape. And before I go on, I'm just going to say that the landscape that we're looking at has been generated using an algorithm from this book, The Science of Fractal Images. It's published by Springer Verlag. 1988, and I treated myself to it a long time ago. I'll just scroll up here. The particular section that I used was this one by Benoit Mandelbrot, nonetheless. Fractal landscapes without creases and with rivers, except I left out the rivers and left in the creases. Well, we're back at my site again for one last time to have a look at this little article here under computational maths. I'll just close the advert. And what this article, it's not really quite finished yet really, but I've put an intermediate version up, or an early version up. Here it is. Yes, we're explaining the camera modes and controls that I'm going to be using in the demo. You can see it's talking about OpenGL transformations, and we introduce the notion of a camera, the OpenGL coordinates, and different kinds of camera geometries and camera local coordinates, and how they behave and how you can use them in different graphics modes. But the best way to actually see what's going on is to actually look at the demos. You can have a look at that if you want to look at some of the underlying maths. Before going on, this might look a little bit alien to you. The reason is you're probably on Microsoft Windows or Apple Mac. This is a Linux-based machine that I'm using, and this is a Linux console. So if it looks odd, that's why, but what I'm doing is independent really of any particular platform, so don't worry about that.